Marcus is over there in the strawberries getting the whole perimeter weed whacked because we have that electric fence going around for the deer to keep them out, and the weeds that are high are gonna ground it and it's not gonna work properly. So he's getting that job done, which he'll probably be working on for like the next 3-4 hours. And then that's kind of like enough weed whacking for the day because it kind of makes your hands shake and you just get tired of holding that thing. So then we're gonna probably move down to the high tunnels where Eric and Francisco are at, and they're in the process of cleaning them out and throwing all the old tomatoes in the dump trailer. There's the Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna move into sweet corn. I wanna say this is around the last time we're gonna be picking this. We're not picking the outside row because that got frosted the hardest. There was absolutely no protection. But inside the field more, with all the leaves and all the tops, it kind of protected it from the frost. And you can kind of see that by seeing how much greener, like see how yellow or white you want to call it, that is, and see how much greener this is. So when you pop that off there and you actually look at the cob down underneath, you can see how nice it really is. And that's why we're still picking it today. And so I'm just gonna grab 2 baskets for my mom at the farm market and then move on to cabbage and cauliflower. Not as fun picking by yourself. You gotta pick it, put it in the basket, carry the basket, and then go dump it, or at least carry it back to the Kubota yourself. But I'm only doing, like I said, 2 baskets, so it's not a big deal. This is actually some of the nicest corn I've gotten like the past week or so. Just extremely green. I don't really know why or how it works that way, but this field, if you can see, goes all the way past our blue shed, all the way to the lane. It's like a 1,400-foot field, or maybe even longer. And so we've been picking all the way out, and there are certain spots where it's greener and where it's frosted more, so it means whiter. And on top of the hill here, which I would think would be frosted harder, is actually greener. And so as we were going out through that dip, it was getting worse and worse, but now it's getting better and better. So now I'm down here to the coal crop field. This will be the last time I'm here for the next couple days. And I'm not getting a lot because we don't have market till Monday. Today's Friday. But I am gonna get a couple trays for mom, and then I'm gonna try and get some broccoli, which we have now gone through the entire patch of broccoli and cut all the main heads off. So now it's just the shoots, but still here and there, tucked in, there's some nice ones that I wanna try and find because we've got it and she might as well try and sell it. Cauliflower, we have just so much, we don't even know what to do with it all. We're harvesting it as fast as possible, but still, we just have absolute giant heads. I mean, that's huge. And so, I'm just gonna get 3 trays for mom, because that's all she really needs at the moment. But really, I can go anywhere I want and find her nice cauliflower. I'll start out by getting her some purple. For any of you guys who live anywhere near here, just remember that those FMNP, which stands for the Future or Farmers Market Nutrition Program, expire by, I think, Thanksgiving, or something very close around Thanksgiving. Like it's either a day or two before or a day or two after. And that's when a lot of like roadside homegrown stands that take them cannot take them no more. I don't know about the grocery stores, I don't know how it works for them, but I just know for like ourselves, and it says right on the check, it's a $10 check, and I'll even put a picture up there if I can remember. It's a $10 check, and you can only spend that money on veggies or fruits at your local farmer's market. And then once that date is passed, it's no good, and then, you know, those people who receive those checks won't get them again for the 2025 season. So just keep that in mind, you know, spend them while you got them, because there's no point in letting that go to waste. One other thing is that we only go to the Wilkes-Barre and Scranton Farmers Market until about 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving. It's like, I don't know, I can never remember, but it's literally within 2 or 3 days of Thanksgiving, and then it's done again until next year. Basically, the same time the checks go out of season or out of date, so do the farmers markets. And, you know, a lot of farmers, including ourselves obviously, still have a ton of produce, especially all of like the winter stuff, like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. So get out there, support them one last time or a couple times before the end of the season. That way, you know, none of their veggies are going bad, and you get to use up your checks. It's kind of a win-win for everybody. Another thing is that, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, just because the harvest is coming to an end does not mean the work is coming to an end. We still have lots of things going on. Like I already was telling you, all the guys are working on different jobs, cleaning up. And then it's like as soon as we finish cleaning up, we're already starting again in the greenhouses. And you definitely don't want to miss that, because I get a lot of questions over the summer asking what kind of fertilizers we use, you know, how it grows, you know, where we start, you know, how we start. And that's all described in my earlier videos coming up here in the next month or so, or maybe 2 months. We start getting ready in early January, but we really don't start planning until February. But I'm still uploading videos showing you what we're doing at not only the farm market, but here on the farm. We're gonna soon be starting wreaths and all that kind of stuff to sell at our farm market. My mom and Sammy make those, and I'm gonna describe the whole process of how she makes those and, you know, what kind of style she's making. So definitely follow along and keep up with what we're doing, because there's so much more than just the harvest. And while I'm going on a rant, I might as well tell you guys about our shirts right here. It's got the logo in the front, small logo, bigger logo in the back with the tractor. Really nice, really comfy, fits really well, and doesn't shrink much at all after you wash them. I have all sorts of different colors: blue, green, red, brown, white, on our website, broyansfarm.com. There's not just shirts, there's hoodies, there's crew necks, there's long sleeve, everything there. You know, go check it out. That really helps support the farm. Again, I'm just getting a small amount for Mom of kale. 3 or 4 bunches is all. We try and keep everything very manageable. That way we can keep it fresh and bring more out either the same day or the next day. I hate when stuff gets wilty and goes bad and then you gotta sell it for cheaper. It's not worth it. I am a big believer though in stack it high, watch it fly. So you gotta have enough to make your display look good, but not too much to where you're not gonna sell it. And if you don't know about kale, I'll tell you about it. Kale, very easy to grow from what I can see, and what I can experience, or what I have experienced. The nice thing is that as it grows, you can cut off these lower leaves and it's still gonna keep growing and growing, putting out bigger ones, you know, as these small ones expand. And so you don't wanna just cut the top out of your stalk right away. Cut your bottom leaves, let it grow, and keep cutting, because you can get a ton off of one plant, probably more than almost one person can use, unless you're using a lot of kale. I know you can juice it, from what I've heard people say. I know some people just feed it to their rabbits. Some people make kale chips. You can make kale salad. There's a lot you can do with it. I would say my favorite is kale salad. I got that at the hometown farmers market when we're there selling plants in the spring. Now I'm gonna move on to broccoli. Sadly, because the shoots are small, it takes a while. So I'm just gonna spend about 15 minutes, cut as many as I can find, and let that be. So it's extremely windy like it always is, but just got here to the high tunnel with Eric and Francisco. They got this one completely done. All of the plants are now in here. Now the next step is gonna be pulling out all the posts, getting them stacked on this pallet, and then after that we'll roll up all the fabric. So the guys are now officially done with the high tunnel, or the upper one. The stakes are out, metal and the wooden. And this is what it looks like now inside, which I gotta lock this door because it's extremely windy. And so, obviously, if you can see that, that's where the rows were. There, 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 and there. The whole point is we want all of the tomatoes out of here. We don't want anything to leave disease for the next season. That's why we also don't leave the fabric in here. Some people do, and they get away with it. Jeez, that door's gonna break. But I don't wanna risk it. It's not worth. Jeez. Hold on a second. It's not worth having the hassle next year, fighting with disease and all that kind of stuff. We'd rather just get rid of it, buy new, and start fresh the next season. And so down here at the other end, this is where we have our drip tape. And I had them leave the drip tape in the ground. That way, next season, if these beds are dry before tilling, we can just hook that header line back up to it and water the whole row. That way it makes it way better for tilling. So now that this is done, and I'm not quite sure why the ground is white there, but it is, we're gonna move down to the next high tunnel, which is a lot smaller and it'll be a lot easier. So we're now here at the lower one. You can see how much smaller it is. Eric's just getting here with a pallet, and Francisco's already in here starting to pull the plants out. Try and get a little bit of a before and after. They already came through and cut the strings off all of the posts. So now it's just going through and ripping those plants right out of the ground. Oh, you're caught on a... Hey, if we pull this guy out, there, that'll be easier. Get this header line out of the way. Now that the high tunnels are done, the guys and I came out here. I dropped off the dump trailer and they're working on getting those zinnias out. I've done it 2 different ways, and I think the way that they're doing it is the best. I've mowed them off, but then it makes a million pieces to clean up and just a mess everywhere in the yard. So I decided to not do that this year and do it the old way, and that's just pulling the whole plant right out of the ground. And that makes it a lot cleaner. Doesn't take as much, you know, work, I guess you would say, but it takes a little more time to just pull that out. So they're gonna work on that probably until 3 o'clock, which is when they're gonna leave today. And then I won't see them at all over the weekend, and they'll be back again on Monday. So the guys finished up the zinnias. They left, went home. Then I went back out, got the dump trailer, went down over the hill, dumped all the old dried up flowers in the ditch just to compost. And then I came back, did some organizing in the shed. And I was about to go do barn work, but I just wanted to do a little bit of a walk around the farm and show you what we've been doing and what we are still working on, because it's just been pretty crazy. We've accomplished so many jobs these last couple days between myself, Eric, Marcus, and Francisco. Like, it's just been wild. So one of the jobs, which was cleaning up the garlic, getting all the toes broken apart, and then just getting everything swept up, is now done. Marcus did all the sweeping up, and Eric helped him a little bit. Did an absolutely perfect job. This is all of the garlic after we've gone through it. There's like 15 or so baskets here now that we can just sell. We don't have to worry about keeping some for planting. And then this is all the garlic that we are gonna plant. Most of these are just really nice, perfect toes, which is exactly what we want. And then up here is the little slivers that we might plant, might not plant. Like, I still think something like that is gonna be just fine. It's gonna do perfect, but we like to see those more. And so the floor is now completely clean, along with over here. Not only did Eric and Marcus get the floor swept, but they also got all the tables out, because now all of those tables that were here are gonna move into the greenhouses for the plant season in the 2025 season. And then, so here's all the tables that they got out. And as soon as the next job we get done, which will be cleaning the greenhouses of all the debris, then those will get taken over and set inside, ready for sanitizing. Cows are fed. They're really enjoying themselves. Here is the lower high tunnel that the guys got done. It's crazy how different it looks in just a couple hours. And just like the upper one, we're leaving the drip tape in the soil. That way we can water if we want to. This one seems to always be drier than the upper one. This hole here is from the guys. They accidentally broke a stake off, so we had to dig it out. And so now this will just sit here now for the next couple months. Now let's go check out the upper one. Oh, and there's the stakes for when we want to use them again. This is the upper one. Beautiful. And so while Francisco did most of that job, Eric helped him as well and worked on cleaning the weeds out of number 1 and number 2 greenhouses. This greenhouse here was really bad. Looks way better now. It's just the seeds from those weeds that will get swept out of here hopefully next week. And the reason why Eric kind of bounced around from job to job, just helping here and there, it was because whenever I needed to pick cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli, any of that stuff, it needed another hand, Eric was the guy I called on, and so he never really got to do a whole job himself.